Yes, John.
At the UN today, Ambassador Thomas Greenfield said that the United States believes that Russia moved 5,000 troops into Belarus, and the United States has information and evidence that they believe that Russia is moving 30,000 troops to the Ukrainian border within a matter of days. It said early February. A U.S. official has since said that this comes from recently declassified U.S. intelligence. Can you just get a little bit more information about how the United States knows this without getting into sources and methods? As you know, the U.S. does not have a flawless record when it comes to giving intelligence at the Security Council. Just wondering if you could give us a little bit more background information on this.
So the short answer is that I'm not in a position to offer further detail on the information that we have released, precisely as you stated, because some of it does come from information that we've been able to appropriately declassify with adequate protection for sources and methods. So the amount of additional detail we can offer is limited. What I will say, though, is that we have, since the earliest days of this crisis that Moscow has needlessly provoked, been extraordinarily transparent. And I think your question speaks to the fact that we are not, in some ways, following the normal formula in how we talk about these things, because we thought it was important early on to be clear and candid and consistent with the American people, but also with the international community, including our allies and partners in Europe, but also the Russian Federation, to let them know and to leave no mistake that we had taken note of what we initially called their unusual military movements, and what we have since come to recognize as potential preparations for large-scale action against Ukraine. The Secretary spoke to this in November, the concerns that we had at that time. And since then, we have been in a position to release additional detail to expose what the Russians had and are doing. And you've also seen our allies and partners do that as well. Our British counterparts, of course, released some information. That was
U.S.-derived information, though, that the British released.
We have an incredibly close intelligence sharing relationship with the United Kingdom. It is true that we share an extraordinary amount of information with them, but the British government did release information pointing to what was characterized and what we assess as well to be preparations to install Kremlin loyalists in the event in the event of Russian aggression. So that speaks to the fact that it is not just the United States government sharing these concerns, and we have heard this from other governments that have declassified information, but also from allies and partners around the world that have spoken not always in terms of declassified information, but in terms that clearly are informed by information that is available to us collectively through all channels, whether that is information that is non-public. But again, John, much of this is information that is crystal clear to the casual observer. The movement of 100,000 troops, the preparations that the Russian Federation is undertaking, you need not be sitting in Langley, Virginia, to know the import and to know what that suggests, and whether it's commercial satellite imagery, whether it is social media, whether it is what the Russian government itself is saying, even as it attempts to explain away the movement of 100,000 troops and tens of thousands of troops into Belarus, using whatever explanation is the explanation du jour. These things can't be disguised. These things can't be obfuscated. And so we are going to extraordinary lengths to shine a spotlight on them in the vein, again, of prudent preparation. Prudent preparation for what we know the Russian Federation has done in the past, including in 2014, and what we are deeply concerned they may seek to do going forward.
Are you feeling a credibility squeeze at all? Just because obviously this is being contested by the Russians, but the intelligence is also being questioned by the Ukrainians as well. So while neither are in Langley, they're clearly on different sides of this conflict.
John, we are sharing information, sharing intelligence with our Ukrainian partners. We do that as a routine matter with our European allies as well. I do not think that aside from a dissonant perspective in Moscow, a perspective that relies on propaganda, disinformation, aside from that perspective, I don't think you hear doubt about what the Russians are capable of, and the concern that their military movements have engendered around the world.